This is SJ Football 16, and today I will be revealing my predictions for Week 7 of the Barclays Premier League season 2015-16. I'm going to start with the early game kickoff between Tottenham Hotspur and Manchester City. I think the score in this one is going to be 4-2 to the so-called unstoppable Man City. This is because I think Tottenham haven't exactly played that well this season and haven't played well against any of the big teams yet, so I think it's going to be 4-2. Scorers for Tottenham will be Andros Townsend and Harry Kane, and the scorers for Manchester City will be Aguero, De Bruyne, Yaya Toure and Wilfried Boney. This is because I think Man City have a really strong attack force and it will be too good for Tottenham to defend. Now I'm going to head over to the big game between Leicester City and Arsenal. Because Leicester City have played really well this season, I think this game is going to be really tight. I've said the score is going to be 3-2 to Arsenal in this one. Just because I think Arsenal have the better team on paper. And Leicester, they haven't exactly played any big teams yet. So I think the score is going to be 3-2. The scorers for Leicester City are going to be Matthew James and Robert Hughes. And the scorers for Arsenal are going to be Laurent Koscielny, Per Mertesacker and Mesut Ozil. Now I'm going to head over to the game between Liverpool and Aston Villa. Aston Villa have had an average season so far, but I think Liverpool are going to annihilate them with a 3-0 win against them, and the scorers are going to be Milner with 2 and Skuttle with 1. This is because Aston Villa, I don't think they'll do well against any of the big teams. I only consider Liverpool a big team because of the squad they've got and how they've played against some of the teams at the start of the season. Now I'm going to head over to the game between Manchester United and Sunderland. I think the score is actually going to be really tight. I think Sunderland are going to put up their act in this game. I think the score is going to be 1-0 to Manchester United. And I think Phil Jones is going to score. Just because I think Sunderland, because of the fact they've had an edgy start to the season, I think they'll try and put up their act and play well against Manchester United. I think the performance they put out against Tottenham was really good, and I think they could keep that momentum going against Manchester United. Now I'm going to head over to the game between Southampton and Swansea City. I think the score in this game is going to be 1-0 to Southampton. Just because I think Swansea haven't exactly played that well this season. They haven't won a game since the start of September. And Southampton have a better squad than them. They have a better defence than them. They have a better attack than them. Their squad is pretty much better than them on paper on the whole. Now I'm going to head over to the game between Stoke City and Bournemouth. This is going to be really difficult to call because both of these are fighting for survival at the moment, it seems. Stoke City are in the relegation zone and Bournemouth are just outside that patch. I think the score in this is going to be 1-1 based on performance at the start of the season. This is because Bournemouth have played really well against the good teams, and Stoke I consider are going to be very difficult to beat for Bournemouth, but I think they could get the point against Stoke, and I think Harry Arter is going to score for them and Muniesa is going to score for Stoke. Stoke, they've quite a good team, but they're not really executing it at the moment. I don't think Bournemouth could quite get it past Stoke because Stoke have got a good defence overall, and I don't think they'll be able to quite do it or keep a clean sheet. Now I'm going to head over to the game between West Ham and Norwich City. I think the score is going to end up being stalemate in 0-0. Just because I think West Ham and Norwich have both played really well this season. Norwich have overcome their expectations. They've achieved much higher than they were expected to do, and they've performed well against the big teams. And West Ham, although they they have a brilliant away record. I don't think they'll be able to sustain the home record that they have been doing, as we've seen evidence of this season. Now I'm going to head over to the late game kickoff between Newcastle United and Chelsea. I think the score in this is going to be 2-0 to Chelsea because Newcastle have had quite a bad start to the season, and Chelsea, they picked up a good 3 points against Arsenal last week, and I think they could possibly top it up with another win against Newcastle, and I think the score is going to be Willian and John Obi Mikel. Now I'm going to head over to the Sunday kickoff between Watford and Palace. I think the score in this is going to be 1-1, and I think the score is going to be scorers are going to be Belkalem for Watford, and I think for Palace it's going to be Yohan Cabaye. Just because I think Palace, although they've played really well, I think Watford have also played really well. They haven't lost many games this season, and I think they could do well against the bigger teams. And finally, I'm going to head over to West Brom against Everton. Although Everton have played really well this season, I think West Brom could begin to pick up their form, and I think they're capable of finishing mid-table, and I think one of those winnable games will be against Everton. I think the score is going to be 2-0, and Craig Gardner and Johnny Evans are going to score. This because I think West Brom, although they haven't had the best starts of seasons, I think they could end up beating Everton because they've realised they haven't played as well as they could have done this season, and I think Everton will start going down in form because they may start to get a bit cocky and all that, thinking this game is going to be easy when it's really not. That's all from me for today. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe if you're new to this channel, comment on any changes you think should be made, and I'll see you guys next time.